There is a calculator shortcut to calculating confidence intervals, but it only gives you the final answer. And in your online homework, you are required to show the intermediate steps before getting the final answer. So this is only helpful to help verify your own work. It should not be used to replace your work, because you're going to be graded on the entire process, not just the final answer. So the calculator has two functions that can help you calculate confidence intervals, one for the z-scores and one for t-scores. But you will need to know how to use the formulas that I've presented here for doing the online homework. These functions help verify your calculations if you have multiple choice questions on practice exams that you are trying to verify, or you want to verify your work in your online homework. So to get to these two functions, you're going to click Stat, Tests, and Z-interval, which is number 7. And then there's two options at the top. I'll show you. You will choose the option labeled Stats. That's for Z-scores. And for T-scores, Stats, Tests, number 8, the T-interval, Stats, or data when using raw data. So let me show you what this looks like. Okay, Stat, Tests. So you're using your arrow to the right and scrolling over to this function called Tests. So go back, try it one more time. Let's go back to the home screen. You're clicking Stat, Tests. You're going down to Z-interval. So if you are to be using Z-scores, and not t-scores, so you have the population standard deviation and not the sample standard deviation, make sure stats is highlighted here, and you will see the information that the calculator is asking of you is the population standard deviation, x-bar, sample size, and C-level for confidence level. And if you put in the numbers directly from your problem, you can hit calculate and you will get a confidence interval. And it's very similar as what you'll see with T-interval. Okay, if we highlight stats, x bar has a value, SX, the sample standard deviation, remember, is required for a T distribution, so that's the sample standard deviation, and sample size, and again C-level. So the C-level is different from the t-score percentage that's specified. So this 95 represents a 95% confidence interval, not the t-score T 97.5%. So I'm going to do this with one of the problems we did in this chapter. I'm going to do it with number, I think, example 3 with the typing errors. Yes. Okay. So this is the problem that we did earlier using the formula. I'm going to show you how to do it with the calculator. Sample size is 36, the mean is 4.6, the sample standard deviation is 1.4, and the confidence level will be 0.95. Okay. Sample size is 4.6, so x bar is 4.6. Sample standard deviation is 1.4. Sample size is 36. The level of confidence is 0.95. We're building a 95% confidence interval here. So go down to calculate and hit enter. And the calculator gives us a lower end of the confidence interval and an upper end. Now, we may get answers that are slightly different from what we use with the formula. And the reason for this is when we use the formula, if we scroll through this lecture and remembered how we did it, we used IMVT and we rounded this 2.03. It was a much longer number, but we rounded it. And so when we rounded it, we reduced some significance in our answer. Therefore, sometimes the answers may be slightly off between what we get when we apply this formula, which was this answer, and what we get when we use our calculator. So let's check that again. 4.1263 and 5.0737, when rounded, it turns out to be the same number, 4.13 to 5.07, which is exactly what we have here. So the calculator can be really helpful in verifying your work, but it shouldn't substitute your understanding of how to apply the formula, because that is going to be required on your homework and your tests. So thank you. I hope this lecture was helpful, and we'll see you next time.